appreciate everybody, making the effort to get out here and celebrate what's a pretty special day for the Mets. To be able to keep Brandon in a Mets uniform, drafted, developed in the organization. He means a lot to a lot of people here, and it was a pretty easy decision for us when we were going through the process, and Scott keeping us abreast of how things were developing. To make that commitment to Brandon. One of the things that we talk about, when we're going to extend a longer term deal to a player is, can we trust him with the contract? Can we trust his intentions? Can we trust the type of player, not only what he brings on the field, which is, all-star ability on both sides of the inning, but can we trust the intentions? Can we trust the heart of the player? And so many people here think the world of him. I got to know him over the last year. Buck got to know him over the last year, and everything people kind of characterized was true. So it's a great day for us. Very happy for Chelsea coming here, and Brandon, congrats, man. Nice to have you around.
Thank you. Yeah, from my perspective, just so thankful to be able to be coming back. I'm very, very thankful to the Cohens, to Alex and Steve, the front office, Billy, Sandy. Obviously, most people know here that I was drafted by Sandy, which is crazy to think about. 2011, first one, and Buck helping bring me back. And I think last season we had a great season, and didn't came up a little bit short of the ultimate goal. And I'm here to try and see that through. I'm here to try and see it through from start to finish. And this organization and the Cohens have made very, very clear, Billy's made very, very clear, the goal is to win here. And that's why, big reason why we decided to stick around, and to be able to start your career with someone, be able to finish your career with the same team, that's something really, really special. And not many players get to do that, and we really get to continue to set our roots down here and be a part of this organization from top to bottom. From the charity work that the Cohens and everybody in this organization does, all the way to the performance on the field. We're very, very excited to continue to be a part of this, and very, very excited to continue this winning culture and this pursuit of a World Series.
With that, we'll open it up with questions. When you receive the mic, please state your name and your outlet.
Steve Gelbs, SNY. Congratulations, Brandon. This is the first time you've gone through a free agency process. I know you stated really from the beginning of last season that you had interest in coming back here long term, but what was this process like for you? I know there was significant interest in you from other teams, and were there ever moments where you thought, this might not work out, I might not be back here?
Yeah, I mean, you always have to approach the situation as at face value, and you have to say, there's an option here where we don't end up back here, and you try to envision your life in other places and with other organizations, and I think it would be foolish of me to go into those meetings without trying to put myself in that situation and say, okay, what would it be like to be a part of this organization and this team? So yeah, there definitely were those times, but towards the end, the Mets just made it very, very clear that they wanted me back, and we wanted to, like you said, from the beginning of last year, I've expressed my interest in staying here and what it would mean to be able to finish my career in being a New York Met. Honestly, when I look back on it and finally get a chance to, being drafted out of Wyoming, a lot of chances had to be taken on that. To be able to give me all the tools that I needed to kind of hone that raw ability through the minor league system to now, here we go, now we're signing this contract and going to be in New York for the rest of our career, and wanting that to culminate in a World Series. You can't draw it up any better than that. So ultimately, yeah, I definitely wanted to stick around and made that very clear. But you do have to approach every meeting as if, okay, what's it going to be like to be a part of this other organization?
And for Billy and Buck, you know, Billy, you mentioned the two of you getting a chance to know him for the first time this year. Obviously, what he brings on the field is one thing, but as you mentioned, it's everything else as well that made you comfortable giving him a contract. As you kind of look to continue to build a culture and look at the type of people you want in this organization, how much of a role did Brandon, the person, the worker, play into the desire to bring him here for the long term?
Yeah, I mean, it plays a significant part. Like I was alluding to, you talk about the trust, and you want to be able to trust that, you know, 365 days a year, that, you know, he's you know, focused on what the ultimate goals are here. So getting to know him as a person, getting to know what he means to the community, you know, he's somebody that we feel really good about, you know, having here and you know, watching him continue to go through another stage of his life and his life together with Chelsea, right with us and being a part of our family.
I agree. Now, there were quite a few nights here, Chelsea had to ask him, all right, is Chelsea here? You know, I hear this thump, thump, thump in the cage, or I'd leave late.
Go ahead.
Brandon would be there in the dining room. I said, is Chelsea? No, she's not here. I said, I'm gonna give you some marital advice. You wanna stay married? Hit tomorrow morning.
Yep.
No, but, you know, it really passed the field test, FEEL. You know, I thought with Billy, you know, you go through so many different things, you evaluate, and then you step back and go, okay, how does it feel tomorrow? You know, Brandon, the thing I've always liked about Brandon, he's improved every year he's been here. He's always chasing, you know, that perfection that none of us will get to, but we try. And, you know, you get to a point where you trust, you know, the human being and the mom and dad that raised him, and you realize that, you know, he gets reality here, and sometimes in New York, and in the big leagues in general, it gets away from you. But, you know, he cares about making his teammates better, and there's a lot of sincerity to his game, and that plays here. And it kind of fit who we, you know, wanted to be, and projection that we'd like our guys to be about.
Mark Roseman from Sports Talk New York, one for Billy and one for Brandon. Brandon, you know, you mentioned that you want to end your career here and play here. When Edwin was here, and he said the same thing, he said that, you know, one of the reasons, obviously when you're a free agent, money is a reason, but one of his main reasons was that the Met organization treated him like family. When you were weighing that, how important was that for you?
It was very important because it is a family atmosphere here. You know, we hold each other accountable, and you know, we definitely want to get the most out of each other. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're all pulling on the same end of the rope, and the Cohens have been nothing but family to us right from the top. And to be honest, I think that's something harder to find, you know, throughout the league with ownership. But the Cohens have been in it right from the beginning, and you know, all the way from inviting us to dinner to figure out what they can do better in order to make this organization better, and that was everyone in the first year, all the way down to, you know, making the family room the way that it is now for us, and just trying to take care of all of the stressors that come from just everyday life that everybody knows about, so that we can just focus straight on baseball. And you know, we have been welcomed with nothing but open arms since the beginning here, all the way from, like I said, when I was drafted in 2011 by Sandy, all the way to Billy and Buck now being a part of this, and us getting to learn each other last year. We have cared for each other like family, and so yes, that is a huge decision, and something that Chelsea and I talked about when we were making our decision, especially with how we were treated in this organization.
And for Billy and Buck, you know, Buck, you're kind of seen as an old school manager, and Brandon is a throwback. You know, he's one of those guys that hustles, you know, 100% of the time. And you mentioned the fact that, you know, intentions. When you give an athlete here in New York that type of money, that's expected. How important was the fact that Brandon doesn't take a second off?
Well, I talk a lot about presentation, but also sincerity. It's kind of like you learn a habit early on, and then you learn good habits. Like, I chuckle when people might say something about Brandon running to first, whatever, because they can't do it themselves. Really, I mean, we all question the things that we're not willing to do, so I don't know, there's just a pure heart there about it, and the seal expression, your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear a word you say. It's kind of one of those things, it's the whole thing, it's just play better, and it's been fun to watch him get better every year he's played. So, and I think there's even another level. It's one of the top leadoff men in baseball, and they're hard to find. And I think where the game's evolving, I think is only going to help us with Brandon's skill set.
In the back.
Brandon, congratulations. I'd like to know, going into 2022, you wanted to improve your outfield skills, and you did. I just want to know, is there anything else you would like to improve going into 2023? And what did Buck say to you that wanted you to come back here?
Yeah, I think there's always room for improvement. This coming year, I'm looking to be more consistent offensively. I'm looking to be more consistent in the outfield. I want to be able to I think one thing we might circle is stealing bases in the right situation. And so we'll work on that come spring training and in my training beforehand. But first and foremost, is just showing up to the field every day and expecting myself to get better. Someone told me you either get better or worse every time you show up. So I'm trying to get better each and every day. And at this point in my career, that usually means being more consistent. And that's usually the telltale sign of a great big leaguer, is someone you rely on each and every day. So I will be working on those things. And as far as Buck and I's relationship throughout the year, that's what maybe want to come back is. Buck and I are very, very similar in a lot of ways, and we did have. He's not telling you a story, when he tells you that I was sitting, in the cage, and he comes and he's like, you know what? If you want to stay married, you might want to go home, and so we chuckle about this thing. We had laughs throughout the year, but he also understands, the type of person that I am. Like he alluded to, we're chasing that perfection that we'll never get to, but we still chase it, and he understands, the preparation that it takes each and every day to be ready for a game, and how he wants to leave no stone unturned, and I'm the same exact way. And so our personalities, I think, and the relationship that we developed over this year definitely made it an easy decision to come back.
Rich Catino, the New York Extra. Brandon, congratulations on the contract. As the free agent process was going and you saw the acquisitions the team was making and quickly firing on the things they wanted, did that want to make you come back even more when you saw that process kind of evolving in hyperspeed?
Yeah, of course. Right before the winter meetings, they made the huge signing with Justin, and that obviously started things off with a bang, and you thought, okay, is it going to keep going, or is it kind of just, here's the big move for now? And boy, they just kept them rolling out that whole week. And so, it definitely was shoring up. We had a lot of free agents from the end of last year, and so there was a lot of holes to fill. There was a lot of things to do, and there's always questions of, can it all be taken care of? And I think with a resounding yes. You know, Steve and the front office and Buck made that very clear that yes, we are going to win this year, and we are going to sign the people that need to be signed in order to fill those spots. And so very, very excited to get to know Justin, and very excited about all the signings. I mean, Jose Quintana, you know, obviously we started things off with Edwin. So glad to get, you know, such a dominant closer back. And so many good things that for looking from the outside in at that point, that okay, they're shoring up all of these places that need to be shored up. And so yeah, this would be, you know, looking down the lineup, looking at the starting rotation. Yeah, this is somewhere we could go, we could win and continue to win. And you know, that's always a huge motivator in free agency is where can I go and compete for a World Series title? And the great part is I didn't have to go anywhere.
Great, thank you very much. What we're going to do is remind everyone for the kids' holiday party. Invite all the media up at 10 a.m. 11:30 for the performances. But right now, we'd like to invite Chelsea up and everyone on the dais up in front so we can do the photo op with the jersey, please.
Regresamos en breve, no te muevas.